I'm Jeff Lovejoy. I'm the principal of Belfast Area High School. I want to welcome parents and students and family members. We are going to give an overview of life at Belfast Area High School and really encourage you and your son and daughter to get started and take advantage of all opportunities that we offer at the high school. This is my third year. I'm finishing up as the principal, and I had spent a few years at Troy Howard Middle School as a teacher and administrator. I definitely understand the transition that an eighth grader needs and goes through as they come to the high school. We've had an unusual year, but a successful year, and we're really, with a lot of optimism, hoping to have a school year next year in person with your son and daughter. We've been working pretty hard at opening up a lot of unique pathways with electives in all of our departments, and this incoming class is going to really reap the benefit of that as they go through the next 4 years at Belfast High School. My door is always open. I really encourage you to push your son and daughter to get involved in athletics and student council, civic clubs, and we look forward to seeing everybody in the late summer, early fall. I'd like to introduce Mr. Battani, our assistant principal and athletic director.
Yeah, greetings, eighth grade parents. Your eighth graders are about to go through a big transition, and we all want them to get started off on the right foot. It's important right from the beginning that they're fully involved and they feel at home at the high school. If they get off to a good start in that first semester of their freshman year, that's going to set them up for success all 4 years. And so one way to do that is to just get them to know their way around, to get them comfortable coming up here, and to get them involved in the community as much as possible. In the fall, we offer the musical. We offer there's other performing arts opportunities. There's a variety of clubs, and there's athletics as well. It's already been mentioned. Our spring sports seasons officially end on June 12th of this year. And so on June 13th, we're ready for summer training for our fall sports. In the fall, we offer football, field hockey, soccer, golf, and cross country. So we've got 5 sports on offer, and I already mentioned the musical. But come June 13th, we welcome all 8th graders to come up here and start doing this summer training with us. We've got an athletics page on the Belfast Area High School website. If you Google, look for Belfast Area High School. We've got a new website this year, and there's an athletics tab that gives a lot more information about game schedules, competition schedules, practice schedules, coaches. All that information is there. But the main message I want to give is that we want the 8th graders to come up here and feel comfortable right away, get integrated right away, and feel at home right away. And a good way to do that is to start from June 13th. If they want to come up and use the weight room or the pool or do some off-season training, we can help organize that. And as Mr. Lovejoy already said, my door is always open. If you go back to that Belfast Area High School website, you see that athletics tab. My email address is there. You can contact me if you have any questions. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Davis, who's going to go into, I think, course signups.
Okay, well, thank you, Matt. And my name is James Davis, Director of School Counseling here at the high school. And I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Mrs. Ballard, in just a moment. So the main event today would be 8th grade students choosing their courses for next year. And at this point, I will turn it over to Mrs. Ballard.
Hi there. I'm Tanya Ballard, and I'm a school counselor here at Belfast Area High School. And the students I work with, last name starts with A through a K. And I'm going to get us going here by doing some screen sharing. And hang on. Here we go. I'm a little slow at this. And does everyone see that okay? Okay. So we're going to go to, this is the Belfast Area High School webpage. And I just want to put a plug in really quickly that there's tons of good information on the webpage. You can find the athletic links, and you can find updates, you can find a calendar. But what we're going to go to today, where we're really focused, is the Counseling Office tab, which is right here. And there's gobs of good information for seniors, juniors, college information. Here is photos of Mr. Davis and myself and the school counseling staff, and our contact information is here. But I really want to zero in on our course offerings tab right here. And underneath it, you're going to be able to find the program of studies and course descriptions. But since your students are new 9th graders, I really want to direct your attention right here. And we're going to be taking a look together at the 9th grade sign up. Your students are going to come home with that. But I just want to point out too that if you want more description later on, you can go to 9th grade course descriptions and get full descriptions of all the courses offered. But we're going to start out here. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Davis for a moment.
Okay, so your student received a copy of the course registration sheet on Friday of this week. And what I want you to take a look at, so item number 1, we're asking students to go down and circle the courses that they want. And Mrs. Ballard and I will go through those choices in a few moments. So they have to sign up for 1 English, 1 math, 1 geography, 1 science, and a phys ed and a health, which are each semester-based courses. So by signing up for 1 of each of those, they've signed up for 5 periods worth of courses. Tanya, back to you.
Okay. I do want to point out to everybody that in order to earn a Belfast High School diploma, everybody must take a fine arts class at some point. We tend to recommend that students get it done their 9th grade year and just have it out of the way, but it is possible to take it later on as well. A fine arts class will go into what that might be later on too. We recommend that students sign up for a minimum of 6 classes, but no more than 8, because we only have 8 blocks in a day. Most 9th graders sign up for 7 classes, especially if a student is an athlete or going to play on a team, be active in school. It's often nice for a student to have time for a study hall, so they might get work done during the school day. We generally don't recommend any more than 2 study halls, and 2 is a lot for study halls. So we really strongly urge students to sign up for 7 classes. Okay, we're going to go next to the class offerings, to the choices. Every student must have 4 years of high school English, an English class each year. So that's a graduation requirement. Freshman year, there are choices. And I'll quickly go through what those are. Honors English is meant for good, strong readers and writers, kids who enjoy it. I think the most important aspect of Honors English is to be a strong reader. The teacher will work with the students on their writing skills. Everybody needs help with writing skills coming in as a freshman. But in order to be successful in Honors English, your student should be a good reader. So that is the most rigorous choice of English for a freshman. The next level down is English 1, and I would say that many students sign up for English 1. It's still a college preparatory level class, but probably not as fast a pace as Honors English 1. And then the other choice is Core English 1. And this class is really designed for students who struggle with reading and writing. There will be an ed tech in the classroom, so there's extra support for students. The pace is slower, the assignments are broken down more. Quite a few of the students in the classroom may have an IEP in Core English 1. And then there are some elective choices. You'll notice that the classes off to the side that are offset, that means they're electives. They don't count as an English credit toward graduation, but they're choices that kids can make. If you have a student that loves writing, for example, they might sign up for creative writing if they have room in their schedule. Mr. Davis, you want to talk about the math choices?
Okay, on to math. So if we focus at the bottom with pre-algebra, students who may be currently taking pre-algebra at the middle school and may be struggling, they may want to repeat that. If they're in pre-algebra now, then the next logical step is to move one step up the ladder to Algebra 1. Students in Algebra 1 right now at Troy Howard, if they're doing well, they're going to go to geometry or honors geometry. And that could be a conversation between your student and their math teacher. And students who are in geometry right now, who are doing real well, would consider moving up to honors Algebra 2 as a 9th grader. If they're struggling with geometry in 8th grade, we would recommend that they repeat geometry in 9th grade. Now, the class I skipped over is the statistics class. It has one asterisk next to it. What the one asterisk means, just like with the creative writing and journalism, it means that it's a semester-based half-credit, half-year class. Statistics is now a graduation requirement, and students need to take it at some point. They don't have to take it as a 9th grader. We tend to find most of our 10th graders take it. The prerequisite for statistics is Algebra 1. So students need to have completed Algebra 1 in order to take statistics. But a freshman could take stats next year. That's definitely an option for them. Okay? If your student or you're not quite clear on what's the right thing to do, once again, you could check with your school counselor, Mrs. Ballard or myself, or check with the current math teacher. They have a pretty good understanding of these options. Tanya, back to you.
Okay. So over to underneath English, there's the social studies choices for 9th graders. And students are going to take geography in the 9th grade. There are 3 levels of geography that students can choose from, much like English. And the most rigorous, most fast-paced choice is advanced geography. It's a great class. There's lots of research and projects, but the pace is the fastest out of all 3 choices. And if you feel like your student will be comfortable there and the student is raring to go, advanced geography is a great choice. Geography is the middle of the road choice. Many students sign up for geography. It's still projects, still research, but maybe not quite as fast a pace. And then core geography is for basically struggling readers and writers, again, kids that have a little more hard time with those skills, with those writing and reading skills. And there is generally an ed tech in the classroom, so there's more support. And again, you would find many students who are in the class might have an IEP. Now, you notice that there are many electives underneath there. So all of those courses that are offset to the side and don't have the number in front of them, freshmen could take any one of those. And actually, social studies has a lot of cool electives this year. But they're not critical to take as a 9th grader. but they are possibilities, that they might want to sign up for. For graduation requirements, we require 3.5 credits of social studies in order to graduate. So they'll earn their first credit freshman year with geography. Sophomore year is world history. Junior year is U.S. history. And then senior year, there's a chance for a student to pick up one of those elective half credits or a whole credit. It really is up to the student and the student's interest. That's one of the pluses of our school, I think, is students can choose from a wide range and a wide level range, things that are good for them and that suit them. And next, we'll take a look at science.
Okay, so ninth graders take earth science, and just like some of the other disciplines, we have 3 levels of earth science. We have advanced earth science for the advanced students. Even an average student can take advanced earth science. There's general earth science, and then core earth science is pretty much designed for kids who struggle with reading and writing, and it moves at a slower pace. So the one exception to the earth science, if your student is a really strong science student and wants to, in a sense, get on a science fast track, they can start their high school career with advanced biology, which is a 2-period sophomore level biology class. And to meet the earth science standards, they're going to have to take AP environmental science down the road, typically as a junior or senior. We won't have an awful lot of students who take that option, but it is an option. So I just want to make sure that's clear, that if a ninth grader skips earth science and starts with biology, they need to come back to AP environmental science later on in their high school career. The bottom 2 classes, fish and wildlife management and marine studies, once again, are science electives. Great classes to take, especially if a student has an interest in those areas. Mrs. B, back to you with world language.
Sure. So there is no graduation requirement for language, but most 4-year colleges require at least 2 consecutive years of a foreign language, the same foreign language. So we encourage students their 9th grade year to start out with foreign language. And some rigorous 4-year colleges love to see 4 years of a foreign language. So just understand it's not required, but it's encouraged. And sometimes students aren't ready for it their freshman year, and they might not start foreign language till they're sophomores. It really depends on your student and how your student learns. But let's talk about the 3 possibilities. There's French 1. And French 1, many students choose that as their foreign language. They do cooking and projects with French 1. Sometimes they do sewing activities, I know. The teacher makes it engaging, and they learn lots about culture in French. Latin 1 has been taught for many years by our Latin teacher, Mr. Doran, and he's beloved by many students. Latin 1 can be a great choice if your student might be interested in law or medicine down the road. It's actually a great language to learn too for English, because many of our English words are based on Latin roots and suffixes and prefixes, so that's a good choice. And then Spanish is also very popular with students. As you know or may know, that many parts of our country in the U.S. speak Spanish. It can be a useful language to know. I know the teacher, Ms. Avila, is very dynamic, and she has students speaking in class quite a bit. If you have an extremely shy student who doesn't like to talk in class, that might not be the best fit for your student. So just knowing that she does a lot of interaction in class. And for many kids, that's very helpful. It's a great way to learn a language. But know that you could opt not to do a language, or your student may start next year. You know, have that conversation with your child and decide how you want to proceed. Okay. Next, we'll look at health and PE.
Yep. So health and PE, not a lot to discuss there really. So these are required courses. Unless there's a major issue, all freshmen take health and they take phys ed. Keep in mind those are both half-year courses. They're scheduled during the same period. So they're 2 classes, but they only take up 1 period when a student's counting the number of courses that they've taken. Okay, so it's pretty much an automatic for all students. We'll take health and phys ed. And on to unified arts.
Yeah. So we have a couple of choices for freshmen underneath unified arts. You know, it's like elective credit. JMG is jobs for Maine graduates. And kids learn about the workforce in Maine. They go on field trips. They do, well, this year they're not, but in the future we hope they are. And they do projects. They learn about finance. They learn about banking. They create a resume. So it's a wonderful class for so many students. That is an option. There's also yearbook design, which a freshman could get involved in. Typically, they don't very often because they're doing so many other classes, but it is an option for kids to sign up for. And they are actually creating the yearbook in that class, and they're learning to use Photoshop, and they're learning to set it up and edit. And then we'll take a look at the other side. There's fine arts that Mr. Davis will take a moment to address.
So we have a 1 credit fine art requirement for graduation. There are 3 high school pathways to meeting that requirement. Obviously, band is one of them. Chorus is one of them. And the other pathway would be a half year of Art 1 and a half year of Crafts 1. Typically, the band kids know who they are. Oftentimes, the chorus kids, they know who they are too. And, you know, we encourage kids who have been involved in those programs to stay with it. And then we have kids, obviously, who love art. And by taking Art 1 and Crafts 1, it allows students to take other art electives as a 10th, 11th, and 12th grader. So Art 1 and Crafts 1 are actually prerequisites for a lot of the upper level art classes. Now, perfectly frank with you, as a young lad in high school, many years ago, I was not a band kid. I was not a chorus kid, and I really didn't care for art too much. I know that there are students out there like that. We strongly recommend that as a 9th grader, you take care of your fine art requirement and jump into the art and crafts program. They're fun classes. You don't have to be a gifted artist to succeed. You just have to have a willingness to learn and to try things. So we strongly recommend as a 9th grader, don't shy away from it. Most of the students in art and crafts are going to be 9th graders. Yep. So anyway, so that takes care of it. We're going to do a quick wrap up and back to Mrs. Ballard.
Okay. So your student will have actually gotten this form in a hard copy and will be bringing it home to you. You'll notice that on the form there's a little space for teacher initial. And so what your student's going to do at the middle school is talk to the English teacher, math teacher, social studies teacher, science teacher, and allow the teacher to have a little input to make sure your student is placed comfortably, right? We don't want your student to struggle as a ninth grader in the first month, but we want to also make sure that you all understand that levels can be changed too early in the year. If your student, for example, signs up for Honors English 1, gives it a try for 2 weeks, even 3 weeks, and goes, oh no, this is too much, I can't do this, then they would come down to the school counseling office, talk to Mr. Davis or myself. We have add drop slips, and your student can shift levels down. And it's done fairly frequently. So just know that this isn't set in stone. There's always a chance to change. So the teachers will give input on the form. And if I go back to this upper form, we also want you as a parent to put your signature on it so that we know that you are part of the process, that you've taken a look at the classes and that you approve them okay. Also, let's talk for a minute about class periods. So remember, we suggest that they sign up for 7. So they need English, they need social studies, they need math, they're going to sign up for science. We recommend that you sign up for a fine arts. We want you to sign up for health and PE. So there's the 6 that you kind of have to have. And then after that, maybe there's a language. That would make the 7. You can sign up for 8, and there are other electives there. There's also things like JMG. So really, it's going to be pretty easy to get to at least 7 credits, okay? Once your student goes around and has selected the courses, made some choices, talked to teachers, got your signature, then at the middle school, they'll be sitting down with their homeroom teacher and inputting their choices electronically on Infinite Campus with the guidance of their middle school teachers. I think that's pretty much it. The deadline for getting this done, we really would like them to take care of it by March 12th. March 12th still gives us plenty of time to do some planning and scheduling, and if they get all of those course selections inputted by March 12th, that would be awesome. So maybe you can have that conversation with your students this weekend after they bring home their course sign-up sheet and you take a look at this, okay? Mr. Davis?
Okay, so for the remote kids, of which there's about, I believe, 20 remote 8th graders right now, you're going to actually have an electronic course registration sheet. So you are not going to take this around and get people to sign off on it. That's not happening, all right? So most of the process is the same, but that's the difference. So no teacher signatures on the electronic sheet. You're just going to check off the courses that you want to take. You're going to forward that electronic sheet to Mr. Nardone. My understanding is Mr. Nardone and Mr. Hamlin are going to make sure that you get the electronic course registration sheet. But after you fill it out, you want to forward a copy to Mr. Nardone. And then you, the student, are going to go into your laptop, and directions will be out there as to how to do this. And you'll enter your courses into your laptop. That portal won't be open till Monday the 1st is when that will open, okay? So you'll enter those courses into your laptop, and we'd like, just like Mrs. Ballard said, we'd like you to finish that process by March 12th. If you folks have questions, Mrs. Ballard, my email contacts are on the website. Probably best by email, but feel free to call too. I want to reiterate an important point that Mrs. Ballard brought up earlier. at this point, with snow on the ground, it's late February, 1st of March. You're choosing your courses for post-summer. A lot of time will pass between now and then. We want you to do your best job at trying to choose what you think you want to take. If you change your mind between now and then, you've got time to contact us, and we can look at things. We can redo things. That happens. Doesn't happen all that frequently, but it does happen every year. Speaking for both of us, we look forward to meeting parents at some point. Sorry we couldn't have a live meeting. It's usually a very big meeting and a lot of questions and answers. But we look forward to meeting parents at some point. And the first day of school is a freshman orientation day. So it's freshmen only here with the freshman team of teachers and with peer leaders to help out. And that's a fun day too. And so more information about that in the future. Tanya, anything else?
No, other than Mr. Davis did mention the freshman team, and I wanted to let parents know that you're very lucky to have this group of teachers. They're a group of dedicated teachers who only teach with work with freshmen. They meet several times a week to discuss students, to discuss programming. And I don't have to go into it too much, but I want you to know there's a core group of freshman teachers who are looking out for your first year students here at the high school. And that has been hugely important, I think, to our youngest students. Well, we thank you and hope this has answered questions that you may have, and we'll look forward to hearing from anybody if you have questions. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you very much.